abstract painting is not easy.
I think it's quite obvious.
It has this ability to switch in people's minds.
Yeah, so it's just like your nature.
Yeah. I'm still doing anything I want.
Congratulations. Today Art in Adelaide is visiting Mezzanine 55 in Kent Town to see the exhibition by Rosemary Warmington. The exhibition is Conversation with Color, but I am personally going to have a beautiful conversation with Rosemary herself, not just with the color. Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, great to be here.
Thank you. Can you please tell us a bit about this exhibition, what it is about and why it's special for you?
Conversations with Colour really makes reference to two things. One is that artists, when they're doing painting, are communicating through the colour and through the actual art. So it says things through art and colour that artists can't say really in words. So that's sort of the fundamental idea behind it. The other thing is that, of course, the colours within the paintings speak to one another and create the painting. And then the paintings between them have a conversation. And of course, when the audience comes in and the people are looking at the colours and the paintings, they're having their own conversation with it. They're having their own conversation with the painting. And it has a meaning for them, which we can't predict what it will be. And I think Kandinsky was one of the people who said, colour is a means of accessing the soul. So he's very strong about his ideas of colour. Hopper said, if I could say things in words, I wouldn't need to paint. So these two ideas sort of come together. The colour and the idea of painting are having conversations. We're communicating through our paintings things we cannot say necessarily in words. That's the idea behind it.
Even the person don't meet you in person, they can feel what you wanted to say.
So we don't know what they're going to. Every person who looks at the painting has a different conversation with the painting.
Yeah, I think it's especially important for abstract painting because it's not real objects, but it's just more emotions, feelings.
Sure.
While you're painting. And by the way, how did you come to idea to become an abstract painter?
Well, I suppose the key to my painting is the theme or the underpinning of all my painting is colour. It's the colour of nature that pulls me in, and it's the experience of nature that pulls me in. It's the essence of that I'm trying to communicate or paint. In doing that, I'm trying to create the essence, so I'm creating it through form and colour, line, texture. I don't really have a strong desire then to create this sort of strong external form and recreating it. I'm more interested in taking the essence of that's digested through me as an artist and then expressing that memory onto a painting. So that's sort of become a natural way of expressing it. But I do abstract landscapes as well. So I take the landscape and abstract it. But over time it sort of shifts into more abstraction. So I move across a bit, back and forward.
And when you started, did you start from abstract paintings or you tried to work with more realistic styles?
No, more abstract. I think some of the big names that would have influenced me would have been someone like Rothko.
Yeah, so it's just like your nature.
Yeah, this feeling for colour. Not that I don't love some landscape painters like Fred Williams and people like that, but they abstract their work a lot as well, and it's also involved with colours. Always it's the colour that's pulling me to the next step, whether it be through abstract work or whether it be through landscape work.
And which materials, which media do you mostly use for your paintings?
Well, I paint it with acrylic. I do lots of layers, so it's really important to me to be able to do that. I have painted with oil, but it's not my preferred medium. I use collage or paper. I use charcoal, line work, scratching. I sand some work, I do whatever I have to express what it is I want to say. I usually paint on canvas. I do have some boards, but I do paint largely on canvas. So that's an easy part in a way. But I can collage on canvas or on boards, so I do that if I want to. Collage is a more recent thing. I'm just really exploring that, and there's some work here that's like that as well. Yeah.
Rosemary, we just went through the gallery and found another artwork by you which is quite different from other works.
So this one I'm really trialling my use of collage. I just wanted to do something different that really unlocked me from getting too much into my head. So these are made with hand-painted paper, and I wanted to use blue because, as you'll see, I don't actually paint a lot in blue.
Yes, that's why I noticed it's quite different.
Yeah, it's very different, and I have a lot of blue paint as well because I haven't used it. So it still has, for me, this underlying sense that it's about the landscape, because when I was travelling recently in the Kimberley, we travelled along the coastline, along Darwin, through there, and there's all these different coloured blues that come out through the tropics. These sort of colours, these turquoise colours, these soft blues, and so forth, but as well the orange of the landscape. And you'll see those land lines again, or what are they, intersection lines again that are there. But it has this real abstract feel, and that's what I wanted to do. I wasn't painting it to actually be particularly about the landscape. I was painting it to create form and colour. It's a really, really striking piece with all those different blues in it.
Yeah, it's
very vibrant.
Yeah, it's vibrant, so opening up and quite bold.
It's very bold. Yeah, it's very bold. It is fun to do that. It's fun.
And you did so well.
Actually, it's not, abstract painting is not easy.
It's not easy at all.
If I have something in front of me and I've painted before, I go, I'll see if I can paint this sort of less abstract work. And I paint it and I follow the direction because it's in front of you, and I go, that wasn't so bad. And you do something like this and you go, you spent hours. Where does this bit go? There's a gap here. Where do I get the balance? How do you create a story behind it as well? So there's a lot going on when you're working with it. So it is a process. So this work here that you'll see in my part of the exhibition was inspired by my travels across country in Australia. So I went through to the Kimberley, Lake Eyre or Katatanda, through to Hawker, up over the Painted Hills. Love all that country. And so this really is an expression of my love of the light and the colours from that country. This painting, for example, is called Across Country, as is this one next to it, which is the kind of the companion for it. And that's really expressing, you can see the lines in it, which is that sort of sense of the aerial view. And these are all the various colours you can see as you fly over.
It's interesting because when I just entered the gallery and saw these paintings, I didn't think, but it was somewhere deep in my mind that the colours are colours of Outback.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So I got the idea.
Yeah.
Rosemary, when we just entered the gallery, it was the painting which attracted my attention immediately. And later I noticed that this one was successfully sold.
It was.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Before it went to private collection, can you please tell us about this artwork and what this work about and what does it mean for you?
Well, this painting is called Salt Lake Pans, and as you can see in the centre of it, it shows this wide expanse. So this again is about my love of country and flying over country. So it has sort of two views. It has an aerial view, but as well it could be seen as a horizontal view where this is the horizon. So it has this ability to switch in people's minds. So, and these again are the tracks across country created by water as the area floods. So this is what I imagine, but as well we have here is this different sort of, it encroaches into this different area as well. Now you need to know that this is not a particular place, it's an amalgam of my imagination, of a feeling I got from flying over salt pans. So this one was extremely popular. How many artists say, I could have sold that painting 5 times? Well, this is true of this one too. So someone's very excited to get this.
And did you use acrylics as well?
Acrylic, this is all acrylic.
Yeah, because for me, this flowy stuff looks like Chinese ink or something like this. Such interesting techniques which you used. I love it.
Yeah.
I understand why people wanted to buy it at least 5 times. How many people kept it in mind?
Yeah, exactly.
Rosemary, I have some funny question. You mentioned that this one and many other paintings depict some aerial view. Did you indeed fly above the outback on plane, helicopter, drone or whatever, air balloon, or it's just how you see and imagine it?
Well, it's both, because I have flown over Katatanda and I've flown over all the Kimberley in helicopter and light planes, but as well I've travelled across them as well. So, and also sometimes you just travel along the road and you look to the side and you see it. So it is an amalgam of all those things, but I do love an aerial view.
And are you exhibiting here only, or where else people could find your displays?
Well, this particular exhibition is here only, but I do show my work at the Royal South Australian Society of Arts and also Gallery M. I've shown in BMG Gallery as well. Mostly people can see me on social media and connect with me through my studio news or something like that, because I'm showing work in different places, so I tend to move around and show in different places. It's very hard, I think, these days to just have one consistent gallery and be a part of that. It's such a mix, isn't it, of things to do. So I enter art prizes as well, and I've been a finalist in a number of them. So I've always got something happening, but it's not fixed.
By the way, talking about art prizes, I know that recently you became a chairperson of Adelaide Parklands Art Prize.
Yes.
Could you please tell us a bit about this particular art prize and what it means for you, and what are you going to do to develop this art prize as chairperson?
Okay. The Adelaide Parklands Art Prize, I think, is an absolute gem for South Australia, because it celebrates the Adelaide Parklands, which is unique in the world, as it garlands our city, and it was created by Colonel Light, part of our foundation designers for this state, and it has so many elements which are fantastic. It has a heritage element because the parklands are a heritage classified nationally. It has an art aspect because it asks the artists to express their beauty and their joy of the Parklands Art Prize and the parklands, right? It connects with community because it's a community prize. We rely on raising funds for it. It has really got so many categories to it. The main prize is $20,000, then it has 7 other categories, one of which is emerging artists, which is very hard to find, specifically emerging artists category. I've actually promoted the introduction, and we've been accepted, a disability category. So if someone has a disability, lives with a disability as an artist, they can now contribute under that banner.
Special category.
Yes, exactly, special category. We have 3D category, a multimedia category. We have a First Nations category as well. And then we hope to have commendations, but we do have to raise the funds for that. We need to raise a little more for the commendations. So you can see it has a lot of opportunity for a lot of people at different levels. We have emerging artists, as I said, which is a very important category as well. And so that's for people who are just sort of new to art. They might see themselves as a hobbyist. They haven't shown in a major gallery. They haven't won awards or prizes, at really early stages. They might have been studying, just finishing their studying, yeah.
For emerging artists, is there some age restrictions, or even kids could participate?
Oh, and the other one, I'll just tell you, the other category, which I'm very proud of, is student category. Mm-hmm. So it's a category for young people who primary school and secondary school. We've split that prize between the two.
That's great.
So they can apply. So we want to encourage them. Now, getting back to your other question about emerging artists, there's no age limit. You could be 80 or 90. You fit into the student category if you're under, but obviously it's for any.
So emerging artists, it's not classification by age,
No.
it's classification
Experience.
by the experience, yeah.
Yes, and it's on the terms and conditions and the frequently asked questions answer that for people so they can read it and say.
It's really good because some people would start doing art after retirement or something like this, and in this case they would be emerging artists.
That's right. And think about it, it doesn't necessarily have to be painting either.
And by the way, to submit work to this art prize, how many different styles are acceptable?
Really, anything.
Anything.
It's wide open because we obviously you can't cover every classification because you just go on forever, but think of it 3D, so that's jewellery, that's pottery, that's sculpture, well, it could be textile work, it could fit in that, so you work out your classification when you enter, the artist works it out. The other is multimedia, so you've got video, you've got photography, those sorts of things. So they're the categories of those. And the others are more emerging disabilities, so it's about the people.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we've got the main prize of 20,000, which is a good prize.
It's really interesting, and it's about environment, it's about nature,
Yeah,
and it's quite important.
It's very important.
Yeah, especially with Parklands in Adelaide.
And I think I might have missed that when I spoke before. I forgot the environment. But
I think it's quite obvious because Parklands are quite endangered species in Adelaide, and it's important to save them.
It is, and we had and the other thing, of course, about the art prize, it's part of the Adelaide Parklands Association's strategy, which is to inspire people to love the parklands, because one of the things we have to do is to actually protect parklands from this encroachment, from car parks, buildings, hospital, it goes on, swimming pools and so forth. So it's really important that people are inspired to love it and realise what we've got. I mean, there are many cities in the world who are trying to grab back parklands, because they just have realised they don't have enough. I mean, Paris is one of them, for example.
But much easier just to save them.
Save what we've got is very important. And it is at risk since its inception, the parklands, from people deciding that they would like some of it for another reason. Then it's it belongs to the public, it's their parkland. And we walk in it, we take our dogs for a walk, we meet our friends, there's so many things that we do in it that to lose it in any way, any part of it is not good.
Are there some particular art prizes which you participate in as an artist and that you would recommend to other artists?
Well, the Parkland Art Prize, obviously, I'm a big promoter of that. Entries are due January the 31st, so people have still got plenty of time to do that. And the benefit of that, of course, is that the work will be shown in the Festival Theatre when the finalists are selected. So it gives you a great audience to look at your work. I think there's some great prizes around, like West Torrens. A lot of the councils have prizes. So for local people, it's great to apply for them. There's heaps of national prizes. They're everywhere. So I'd encourage people just to start where you think you fit. And the thing I always do is I look at the theme. What is the theme? It's so important. And some people have that painting already that they go, well, this fits the theme, I'll go for that. But otherwise, for me, I actually find it a challenge to look at the theme and think, what could I do that's a bit different? So it is a chance to do something different, to be assessed by some great judges who may look at your work and decide, whether you're going to be a finalist or not. So it's great to get that feedback. And then, of course, you get to show your work with a group of other artists in an exhibition somewhere that you wouldn't have had the chance to do before. And so it builds your confidence and understanding of the art community. And that's good.
Rosemary, we're sitting next to another artwork by you, and it's quite different from others. and I can bet that it's something very special. Could you please tell us about this artwork?
Yeah, sure. Well, this painting's called We Three, and I was painting it actually for an art prize, and it was Easter a couple of years ago. And as I was painting it, I started getting into the story of Easter and thinking about it. It was quite interesting. So if we have a look at the painting, you will see how the sort of this yellow colour here, this lovely greeny colour, so it's very abstracted, and at the top you'll see the numbers here. So this is the 1, 2, 3, which relates to here, but as well I have pencil here, which is like this is a bit of my signature aspects, which is pencil work, so they've got writing there. And I love this pink colour, which is obviously pink is a very heart colour, so it's related to the heart.
It's again more feelings inside of painting than something real and material.
Exactly. I started painting it with these colours, and I really like this pink and so forth. And as I was going along, I started thinking about Easter, and then this sort of appeared, and then I went, what about these? And it sort of evolved, and my paintings can do that. I can often be painting something and not quite sure what it is, and then it resolves itself, and I go, well, that's what it is. I'm happy with that. That's We Three. So I called it We Three.
It's like you're painting by your heart, not by your
Exactly.
mind.
Yeah. So I was see, this is not based on anything I've seen out there at all. It's not based on a landscape of any sort. You know, it's really is abstracted from that. But it's still got this sort of message attached to it. Yeah, so yeah, that's exactly right. It's coming.
Cool.
So my paintings essentially come from within.
Rosemary, are you participating in some art groups, some art collectives?
The way I like to work is really, I'm a bit of an isolate, I've got to say. I like to paint in my studio, and I paint in my studio, and that's how I get my work done. I like to be focused. So I am actually, and I'm always got new ideas, and I've got lots of things on the go, so I stay in my studio and I paint. However, I like to be part of showing my work with other people, and I love having the conversations with other people, particularly about the how, like the how to do it, and how do we, you know, it's techniques and connections, and I don't think you can have the conversation about what, which is what you paint and why you paint it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's such a personal thing.
Yes.
So that's really what I'm working on in the studio, is the what and the why. So I believe in collaboration. It does actually create that support. And I'm also a member of the Royal Society. I'm also a member of Gallery M. I join those sort of groups where you can just participate in and out and show your work. And that's really encouraging.
I think it's quite important.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Because I came into this, I didn't go through art school, so I come into this having worked as a CEO and worked in social work and business and in community development, and then really entered into painting full time when I left work in 2017. And before that I used to work by myself in my studio on weekends, on Sundays. I was a Sunday painter, right?
Oh.
So I have to get out there and I go to a lot of openings and connect with people. I really enjoy that, and seeing other people's work and having conversations about it, yeah.
Rosemary, you said that initially you were Sunday artist and then you became a full-time one. Was it the difficult transition, and was it difficult for you to enter the art world? Did you meet some difficulties on this way?
I think anything where you're transitioning into a whole different area is difficult. You have to persist. But the essence of it all, to move into a community, is the people. It's making the people connection. So really for me, there were a few things that I did. Well, one of them was when I finished my work, I made a determined decision I was going to paint. So you have to have that fixed in your mind. And I wasn't prepared to put in the work. I then joined an online community, which after a while I didn't want to necessarily be a part of. I outgrew it. And then I was part of SALA. So SALA's really important. So I joined with people over time. I've been exhibiting since 2011.
So before you started...
Finished work, yeah. But it was pretty naive sort of work. But I was out there presenting my work and I was happy to do it. So I suppose in a way I've always had the confidence, and that comes from probably my background. To achieve anything you have to be focused and persistent. You have to go out and meet people and you have to do the work and you have to deliver, you know, if you want to be successful in anything and achieve anything. And the other thing was I approached BMG Gallery, which is, you know, a preeminent gallery in South Australia. And Trudy-Ann accepted my work. It was the first exhibition I had as a major solar exhibition. She saw something in my work and she accepted it. So that really then set, you know, a pretty big standard for me to live up to. And then I've joined the Royal Society, I've joined any group and have the conversations with people and go and talk to other artists. And you have to be out there talking to people and you have to learn about art. I study art all the time.
Studying art in any way.
Yeah.
Online, offline, via communication. It's great. Yeah, because, you know, I know that many people don't feel confident enough to show their works to the world.
Yeah,
I think it should be at least first step.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why the local community groups are so good. There's painting groups online. You can go, you can show your work online. I mean, during COVID, I made a decision when it was in the real lockdown period. I held an online course for people because they couldn't go out. And I thought, well, people need this. It was free and I just set it up. It was called Painting with Colour or Painting Together. I called it Painting Together. So I had a number of people come on and do that course with me over a 5 or 6 week period. And they painted and did something every week. I set them tasks to do, and then they came back on, and then everyone gave feedback, and we did that for 6 weeks. And people loved it. They said that some of them said that really set me off with my painting. So it's those little things that can really help.
Yeah, it helps to build confidence.
Confidence. It's confidence.
Yeah.
And then also, I suppose, being open to, well, you don't want to necessarily listen to what everyone has to say about your work because it could be demoralising, but you do have to be open to is this good enough? What else could I do so that you can actually go to the next level and just do that change yourself and try different things and experiment. I mean, the beginning of an art career is so brilliant because you can experiment, you can do anything. I'm still doing anything I want, you know, because why not?
That's right.
Why not? It's a creative experience, so why not? So,
no one could stop your creativity.
It's mine. This is mine. You know, this the essence of creativity. It's yours.
If someone doesn't,
no one can take it from you.
If someone doesn't like just passing by, that's it.
So it's a nice a shift for me from being a CEO where you've got responsibility of organisations, and of course I work with family carers, and part of what I introduced there was creativity for them and art programs for them as well, because I see. And also I've worked in the area of mental health, so I know that art is so important to so many people for their well-being and for their happiness to be able to create their moment in time.
Thank you, Rosemary. It was quite inspiring and interesting. Yeah. Thank you for your conversation about colours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was nice to talk to you, yeah. Ready, steady.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's got to happen sometime, doesn't it? Okay, you'll be okay. Do you want me to give you the question to ask me? Do you participate in groups, or how do you?
Yes, I do.